when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
It's 6:03 in the heart of the Texas Hill Country, and you're listening to Eat, Play, Live with me, Andy P., the show that's chasing dreams and crushing goals. My goal here is to help you live a healthier, happier, more balanced life. And what does that mean to you? What does that look like? Healthier, happier, more balanced. Well, does it have anything to do with your weight? For so many people, it does. So I wanted to dedicate our Eat segment to taking a look at our weight and why so many of us let it define us, right? Contrary to what the media would have you believe, your weight does not define you. The care and consideration you put into your body, now that can define you. Does that make sense? So, we want to put care and consideration. We want to take care of our bodies, but it doesn't have to be all about the number on the scale, the evil scale. So, we are going to take a look at that. And there was a story that this reminded me of, a time back before I lost the weight, um, when I worked at a TV station and I had put on a lot of weight and was not taking care of my body or putting any care into the way I looked. Like I didn't really fix my hair. I would just put it in a ponytail. I think I only owned one pair of earrings. I don't know. It wasn't that I didn't care, I don't think, but I wasn't putting any care into the way I looked, the way I was presenting myself. And what really was kind of eye opening and really shook me up about this is there was another gal that I worked with who was kind of in a similar situation. So we were both carrying more weight than we should, and we both had a tendency to just kind of do the minimum when it came to our upkeep, not wear a lot of makeup, and just, kind of plain Janes. And somebody got us confused. One of my coworkers mixed us up and called me by her name. And it shook me up. I thought, we are interchangeable in this person's eyes. There is nothing about me right now that stands out. I'm just that other plain chubby girl. That's not okay. And so in that moment, I did let the weight, I guess, in my mind, it was the weight that was defining me. But it was really the whole package and that whole lack of self care that was defining me. So I really think that that kind of started those seeds of something is not okay here, and we're going to need to do something differently. So if something is not okay with the way you're feeling about the way you look, then let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at why that may be the case and what you can do about it and how to differentiate between self care and just straight up weight loss. Okay. So let's take a look at that tonight. I want to remind you that you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram at eatplaylive.andy. I love to hear from you guys and know who's out there. So hop on there, and that way you can respond back and let me know if anything we talk about really speaks to you, or if you have a success story that you'd like to share about self-care and ways that that has made a difference in your life. All right. So we're going to start tonight by taking a look at food and the important, vital role that food plays in our life. Okay, there are 1.5 billion reasons why we gain weight. We eat for pleasure, for fun, for stress relief, right? You've eaten for all these reasons. We eat to battle depression. Sometimes maybe you're giving up smoking. Boy, that's a big one. A lot of people gain weight when they give up smoking. You got to have something there getting that fixation, or maybe just to seek comfort. Well, seeking comfort in food is not self care. It's not. It may feel good for that little moment, but overall, it is not going to help you. Food is not the answer. And you can use these excuses, all these different excuses that we have as to why we need to turn to food to make us feel better. You can do that as long as you want, or you can make a choice right now to live healthy and stop letting food rule you. It can't. It can't. You know, you do something good and you reward yourself with food. What is that? You're not a dog. Don't reward yourself with food. So the next time you see a food and you suddenly just start craving it, does that ever happen? Like you're not thinking about it and all of a sudden there it is. This happens to me with ice cream cones. I have a friend that eats ice cream cones all the time. And I'm never thinking about having an ice cream cone. And then I'll see him eating it and go, ooh, I want an ice cream cone. No, I don't. So ask yourself when that happens to you, when you suddenly see somebody has something and you just, I have to have that right now. Ask yourself, if you hadn't seen it, would you have even thought of it? Probably not. Okay, so you have to realize you're not hungry. You're just reacting to those other senses. You know, maybe you smell something and then suddenly, oh, it just gets that idea in your mind and you, oh, I just have to have it, but you don't. Take a breath, walk around the block, go do something that'll distract you from that overwhelming thought about that particular food, and you'll realize it'll be gone and you'll forget about it just as quickly as the craving came. It can go away again. So if you think you're actually hungry, then ask yourself, would an apple do? Would I have an apple right now? And if the answer is no, which most of the time the answer is no, you see an ice cream cone, you don't want an apple. So then you're not hungry. You're not actually hungry. That's totally just that craving. And you know what? You are stronger than your cravings. I promise you are. We've gotten in a habit of just mindlessly giving in to those cravings. Ooh, that sounds good. I'll have that. No, think about what you're doing. Learn what triggers a binge. Is there something either emotionally or even food wise that you eat and then it causes you to want to eat more of that thing? Okay. Learn what triggers that binge. And I have recommended before journaling your food. Write down what you eat and write down why you eat it. That can be a real eye opener, is to make a note. And it doesn't have to be fancy, but when you're writing down what you're eating, you know, make a note if there's something you're depressed or stressed, or there's something going on that might have caused that trigger for that binge or that craving. Weight loss is a journey of self-discovery. Self-care is a journey of self-discovery. You have to understand what is going on in your head that's making you want to do this. That story I told when I was the one of the chubby plain girls, we used to have cake all the time in the newsroom. I worked for a news station, and at least once a month they would bring in cake for everybody whose birthdays were in the newsroom. And I don't even like cake, but I would go in and get a piece of cake because that's what you do. And then when nobody was looking, I would go get another one. But I made sure that nobody saw me get another one because I didn't want them to judge me for eating more cake, as if anyone on the planet cares whether or not I eat cake. But I knew what I was doing was not good for my body. I knew it. And I didn't want to own up to that. So that's a huge part of that self-discovery, is realizing if you're sneaking food, if you're sneaking anything in your life, are you not a grown-up? You don't have to sneak in your life. If you're a grown-up, you do what you do. Own up to it. That is part of taking care of yourself. So recognize what's going on in your head. That can be as important as what you're putting in your mouth. You know, the deal is, it's not about being thin. It's not. You know, people would not have mixed me up with that girl if, say, I had my hair the way I have it now. I mean, there were a million other reasons. It wasn't about the weight. It's not about being thin for you either. It's about being healthy and taking care of yourself. You don't even have to be thin to look good in a swimsuit. Have you noticed that? It's not just the super skinny people that look good in their swimsuits. It's people who are confident and they rock it no matter how they're shaped. I mean, go out to the river, go to Schlitterbahn. Oh my goodness, there is a place where you can get a cross section of the world of bodies. And who cares, right? Who cares? And you think maybe that people are looking at you and judging you? Really? You know, to me, there's just nothing like that to realize that we are all shaped so different. We carry our weight different, just everything about our bodies. It's amazing, the variety. And yet we feel like we're supposed to fit in this really specific media dictated look. It's ridiculous. You probably won't see anyone who fits in that look. Maybe one. You know, I mean, how many supermodels are there really even in the world? So, gosh, nobody expects you to look perfect. So stop expecting that of yourself. Give yourself a break. Do what's right for your body. Take care of yourself, but do not set yourself up to this ridiculously high standard that nobody can live up to. It just doesn't make any sense, right? I want you to treat your body like you love it. Whether it's the way you eat, whether it's working out, don't do it because you hate your body. Do it because you love it and you love the way you feel when you're healthy. Self-care is an act of self-love. So I want you to start today figuring out why. Why haven't you been treating your body with the love it deserves? You treat others with the love they deserve. Why don't you do it for yourself? Put in the effort on you. We are not guaranteed tomorrow. We are not guaranteed. I want you to be able to walk up a flight of stairs without getting winded. I want you to run around the block and not feel like you're about to puke. I want you to see a really cool climbing tree and climb it. When is the last time you did that? Who says we outgrow being able to play? We don't. We don't have to. I want you to be able to dance the night away in the arms of somebody you love. Maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a grandchild. I want that for you. That's why I want you to take care of your body. That's why I want you to eat right and exercise and go out and play, because that is what it's going to take for you to live well, healthy, happy, and balanced. This is something that has really hit home with me over the last couple of weeks because I rarely get sick. I take really good vitamins. You know, I mean, I do this show. I tell you about all the stuff that I do, and I eat right and I exercise. And sometimes that's still not enough. So I am going to admit to you that I got COVID. Yes. And if you notice every once in a while that I'm still having a little trouble catching my breath, that's why. So I've spent the last couple of weeks battling. It's awful. It is. I know a lot of you have probably already had it, and I've talked to a lot of people who have, and what I've found is it is a little bit different for every single person. It presents itself differently, and what you what you deal with, it's just different for everybody. I can't explain it. It is the weirdest illness I've ever had in my life. But it really made me realize that we are not guaranteed tomorrow. I honestly, this whole time, I have thought, you know what? If I get it, I get it. It's not going to be that big a deal. I'm super healthy. I'll probably barely even know that I have it, and we'll just keep moving it right along. That is honestly what I thought. And I was so wrong. Like, it had me flat on my back for days and days and days, checking my oxygen, checking my temperature, both of which fluctuating. I thought I was going to have to go to the ER at one point, and it was scary. It was really scary. So I'm super, super thankful for this community and the doctors and nurses that we have that called me, and all the people who dropped off stuff on my front porch and then ran quickly away. But seriously, I felt very well cared for, got lots of good advice, and followed that advice. So, whether it's COVID or any other sickness, follow the advice of your doctors and not everyone else. See, let me tell you, everyone had advice, everyone. But I listened to my doctor, my nurse, who gave me which vitamins to take and what to drink. And, you know, for me, I had a lot of stomach problems with it. And I guess that's kind of rare. Most people don't seem to have that, but I dropped 10 pounds in 11 days. And wow, that was not okay. When I'm talking about losing weight here, that's not what I'm talking about. That was not the plan at all. But I pretty much could only eat chicken broth or bone broth. That's pretty much it for the majority of the last couple of weeks. I don't know why. So it was definitely an eye-opening experience. And if you can avoid it, avoid it. Let me just tell you. But I did get out every day and walk my dog. I had to get sunshine and fresh air every single day. As hard as that was, there were days all I was doing was shuffling around that block. I'm sure my neighbors thought, what is with this crazy girl in her pajamas? But I had to get out there and get that vitamin D. Like I tell you, you have to have that. And it helped. I truly believe that it helped. So I do worry. You know, I'm still training for my big half Ironman in September, and I'm worried, even though that's still 4 months away, that there could be lasting effects that are going to make it hard for me to train. It's really hard for me to really get a deep breath, and I'm very hopeful that that's going to get better and better. Of course it will, but it's still scary. And so I had people actually tell me, well, you're probably not going to be able to do your triathlon now. Why do you say that? Why would you say that to somebody? Oh my gosh. Doesn't it make you crazy when people point out obvious challenges in your path as if you hadn't thought of that, right? But they're going to point that out. So I'm like, yeah, I know. I see that glaring object in my path and I intend to climb over it or swim under it or pedal around it. Basically, whatever needs to be done so you can keep that negativity in your own yard. Okay? We don't need any of that around here. So if you don't let anybody tell you you can't do something no matter what the circumstances. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox right now. But yeah, I know. I can be a little bit stubborn. I get it. Now tomorrow, I'm going to go up to the Metro Mess, the DFW area, for my son's high school graduation. And I've had people who told me that I should not go because, I don't know, I have been released from quarantine by my doctor. It's okay. But I've had people who said, no, you shouldn't go. This is too much for you to do. It's too soon. And don't tell me. Have you met me? Life is for living. So let's hear it for the rebels of the world. Come on, rebels, give me a shout out. Let's talk a little bit about rebellion. Let me take a drink of water really quick. So please forgive. All right, so in many cases, rebellion is an inquisitive act that helps us discover our identity, gain the confidence to stand our ground, and face challenges from the time we are little. That is the role rebellion can play in our lives. So I want to know, in what ways do you rebel? That'd be a great thing to log on to my Facebook and tell me, how are you a rebel in your life? I want to know. Rock on. Let's do this. Do you have a personal style that goes against the norm? I let my older son have a mohawk in second grade. Ha! I did. It's just hair. Who cares? And you'd be amazed how many people, for those of you who are listening on the radio and haven't seen my hair, I wear my hair in a pixie and I don't color it. It's salt and pepper and getting more salty all the time. And I love it. And so many people tell me that they love it. And it's a very distinct style. And so many women say to me, I would love to do that if I only had the nerve. Why don't you have the nerve? It's your hair. It's your hair. You're the one coloring it and paying a fortune to hide the fact that it's gray. You know what? The gray, actually, to me, it looks better because it's the hair color I'm supposed to have. So it actually goes with my skin tone. I look back at pictures from when I used to color my hair and I looked not good because the coloring never matched my skin tone at all. It was really not that great. So I'm just saying, you may want to double check. Yours may not look that great either. But no, it's up to you. If you have some kind of personal style that you want to strut your little rebellious stuff, then I say go for it. You do you. Do you stand up for your beliefs even when you know others are going to disagree? That's a good way to rebel. Have you ever pursued a job or a hobby that everybody says is completely wrong for you? So what? Rebel. Go against the norm. We need rebels in this world. God, how boring it would be if we all just got along to get along. Nobody wants a boring planet. Let's all get our little rebellion on. So I found this quote from Steve Jobs that I really like. You may have heard it before, but it's cool. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them because they change things. They push the human race forward, and while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius, because the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. So on that note, for my son that's graduating tomorrow, oh my gosh, I can't even talk about him graduating without it making me tear up. For all the graduates out there, be rebels and change the world. Thank you all for joining me. This has been a heck of a week getting to this point, but we have made it through. I kept my breath. I didn't cough in your ear. So join me next week, and I hope to feel tons better and have a lot more energy and have good news to report from graduation. I'll see you here next Thursday at 6 o'clock. I got a couple of Rebel songs to play for you, so stay tuned for those and have a fabulous Memorial Day weekend. Here it comes. We got a really good song here. There we go.